Okay, welcome everyone. You've reached Grandma Mo, and we're covering the games that were played Tuesday. And we had this was one of them. We had the Aces against the Sky, and this game, at first it looked like it was going to be as bad as it ended, but like the Aces went way ahead, and then Chicago had some life in them. Boy, they fought back, and they got it down to like 7 or 8 points. And, I thought, Chicago has nothing to play for. So I thought that was, a good effort on their part. And they kept it around the 8 point mark until about 3 or 4 minutes left in the third. And then the Aces just hit, I swear, every single three they put up. They were just hitting threes like it was going out of style between Lloyd and Dana Evans and Jackie Young. The Aces ended up hitting 15 3-point shots. They shot 51% from three. That's hard to beat for anybody. So the Aces get the win 92-61. They outscored Chicago 28-14 in the first. Then Chicago came back 21-15 in the second. And then they were leading, they held it in the beginning of the third, but then this is when the Aces took over. So they outscored them 23-11. And I would bet you that 15 of those 23 were in the last 3 minutes. And then they outscored them in the fourth 26-15, where it seemed like every time the Aces went down, they scored. Every time the Sky went down, they either turned it over or missed the shot and didn't get a rebound. So the Aces are now 29-14. They still have not wrapped up the second place spot in the playoffs because Atlanta keeps winning. I'm doing this on Wednesday, and Atlanta beat Connecticut again. So they both have the same record. And they both have, wait a minute. Let me see here. I think that was it for Atlanta. So the Aces are going to have to play, let's see. Yeah, the Aces have to win. If they win tomorrow, on Thursday, the last day of the season, then they will secure the second spot. Because at the moment, Atlanta's ahead of them because they have 30-14. But I believe Vegas has the tiebreaker. So if Vegas wins tomorrow on the 11th against the Sparks, which the Sparks just got eliminated, so I'm not sure which team for the Sparks is going to show up. They may want to play spoiler, but essentially if the Aces win, they're in second place. If they lose, they're in third. And nothing will change with that. So, let's see here. The points in the paint were even. Biggest lead, 35 points. That'll happen in the fourth quarter. Chicago had 15 turnovers. The Aces had 8. The Aces got 26 points off those turnovers, and the Chicago only got 7 off of the 8 turnovers. So Chicago ended up shooting 32% from the field. They only shot 18% from three. They didn't take a huge amount of them, but they took 22 and they only made 4. Rebounding was even, but the big difference, it's just shooting percentage for this game. That was the key to this whole game. The Aces shot 54% overall and 15 for 29 from three, which is 51%. It's almost 52%. So, let's see. The Aces had 8 blocks. Chicago had 5. Cardoso was doing good there they were feeding her, and that's when Chicago actually caught up, and then they just stopped doing it. I'm not sure why. Anyway, the Chicago had 2 players in double figures. One of them was Cardoso. She had 13 points and 13 rebounds. She had 2 blocks, 3 turnovers, 3 assists. She was 4 for 12. Got to shoot better than that. She's got to get she seems just kind of like, instead of getting the ball, holding on to it really strong and just going up, getting a solid base under her and going up strong. She would get fouled all the time if she did that. But she kind of just whips it up there quick. She just take another second and gather herself and don't bring it down and then go right up. But, this is only her second year, so hopefully someone's working with her on that because she could be almost unstoppable if she did that. So Oni Mwene, she's been playing good for them lately. She's been getting some shots, and she was 4 for 8. She hit a 3, 4 for 4 at the foul line. She had 13 points. She had a steal, 2 turnovers, an assist, a rebound. Elizabeth Williams, she only played 11 minutes. I don't know why that is. Why wouldn't you play her? Anyway, she had 4 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist. She was 2 for 4. Rebecca Allen had 7 points. Let's see. She was 3 for 9, 1 for 5 from 3. Rachel Bannum, she was 0 for 7. The only thing she took were threes, and she missed them all. She's usually a better shooter than that. She had 4 turnovers, 2 assists, 3 rebounds. She was 4 for 4 from the line. Kia Nurse had 9 points. She had 2 rebounds, 2 for 2 at the line. She was 1 for 4 from 3. She was 3 for 9 overall. Maddie Westbeld, 7 points. She was 1 for 5, 4 for 4 at the line. She had a block, 3 steals, 2 assists, and 2 rebounds. And then Uzan had 4 points. She hit two baskets. So the Aces had 6 players in double figures. That was really, actually, usually it's Asia Wilson that takes all the shots, and then everybody else just kind of fills in. Which, it's much better for the Aces if that doesn't happen. I mean, okay, when you need a key shot, I understand going to her, but, this game she had to go up against Cardoso, and Cardoso has 3 inches on her. So, and she still played a good portion of this game, 25 minutes. She had 11 points. She was 3 for 7, 4 for 4 at the foul line. She hit a 3. She had 3 blocks, 1 steal, a turnover, 4 assists, and 5 rebounds. And then you had Smith, 13 points. She had 5 rebounds. She was 5 for 8. She hit a 3, 2 for 4 at the line. Jackie Young, 15 points. Her and Jewel Lloyd led all the scorers. Jewel Lloyd, all of hers was 3-point shots. She was going on a barrage in that third quarter. It was just like bam, 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 one after the other. And that's what gave them that big lead. And it put them, they went from like 7 or 8 points up to 22 in 3 minutes. So Jackie Young, 15 points. She had 7 assists, 3 rebounds. She had 2 steals. She had a block. She was 6 for 7 from the floor, 2 for 3 from 3. Good game for Jackie. She's been solid this whole year. When the Aces weren't doing well, it was basically her and then Asia Wilson, and then everybody else was just... Nobody was hitting at all. It was bad. And, it's just like, Asia Wilson's playing really well at this, she's scoring a lot of points. You have to factor in that she also takes the most shots. She didn't take the most shots this time, and she only scored 11 points. That goes without saying. But, you also have to factor in earlier in the season. She's had some bad games. But, she's certainly performing now. And they have a 14-game winning streak, and if they win tomorrow, they'll tie, I think, the Comets for the longest winning streak. So we'll see. We'll see what kind of game LA's going to play. So you had Chelsea Gray had 10 points. She had a block, 2 steals, 2 turnovers, 5 assists, and 6 rebounds. She was 4 for 10, 2 for 5 from 3. And then Jewel Lloyd, 15 points. She was 5 for 7, 5 for 9 overall. She had 2 blocks, 2 steals, an assist, and 3 rebounds. And then Dana Evans was getting in the 3 barrage too late in the game. She was 3 for 5 from 3, 5 for 7 overall. She had 6 assists and a rebound. And then Cheyenne Parker Tyus, this was her first game back. She just got activated. She had had a baby, so like 2 months ago. So that's pretty incredible. But they were feeding her late in the game. She was 3 for 5. She got 8 points. Kia Stokes got a block and a rebound. She was in late in the game, and then Gustafson hit a 3 and another hoop, and she got 2 rebounds. So that rounds this game out. And, we'll see what happens Thursday, last game of the season, as to where the Aces land. And, we still have to determine 6, 7, and 8. And that will be determined by the Minnesota Lynx playing the Valkyries. If the Valkyries win, they are 6th, Indiana 7, and the Storm are 8. If Minnesota wins, Indiana is 6th, Storm are 7, and the Valkyries are 8th. So it all just comes down, they're all in, but it's all going to come down to who's going to play who, which that could make a difference in the first round. So, anyway, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it if you can hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.